The Kit Man! Alright, lads, what's the crack? It's also Kevin from the Kitmen and
And this is me, Kevin, also.
from the Kitmen. Right, lads, what's the crack? Right, there's only one place we can really kick into and start off in, Kev, was the absolute fuck up that is the Champions League draw. Or was the Champions League draw. They fixed it in the end, like, but, you know.
And
Uh,
look, they had one job, Kev, one job. I don't see what the problem is with getting, like they used to do in the BBC years ago for the FA
yeah,
Cup, getting an old veteran from World War II to come out and take the balls out of the
yeah,
half. It's a very simple system.
yeah.
Never let anybody down.
Like Pierce Morgan.
Modern technology, like Spurs Morgan, yeah. Modern technology these days, look, as good as it is, it always creates problems, and then it creates arguments and conspiracy theories, etc., etc. And that's the road now we're probably going down when teams start getting knocked out over this draw.
Yeah.
But look, they sorted out in the end, I suppose. There's a few interesting matches. You know what they say about buses and ties at the San Siro. You'll be waiting a long time for one to come along, and then you get two at
Both
the
come
same
along at
time.
twice. Yeah.
So we are against Inter.
Come along at twice.
So again, I'd imagine that's a game that we should be fairly confident in winning over two legs, particularly. I believe
Yeah.
the second leg is at Anfield. Is that right?
Yeah, the higher level teams, so the first tier teams, the winners of their groups basically, they
Yeah.
get the second home leg. So
Yeah.
that's just the way to tell you. So the team gets drawn first. The way it, or so the group runners up get drawn first, and then they get paired against whoever it is. But then the first ties are at the home ground of the second place finishers. I'm glad they got that out. But
And I think with
I
the,
yeah.
with the level of Italian football at the moment,
Mm.
what we did to AC Milan, even with our B team, I do think Inter are probably slightly a better team.
They are a better team,
We
yeah.
have, like, we don't need to fare them
A lot of
basically,
people were saying that they were fearing getting after maybe Munich and PSG, they were fearing getting Inter Milan the most out of that.
Really?
So yeah, a lot of pundits and places said, I don't know why, man. Our football's too good for most people out there.
Yeah.
You know, like we've demolished Roma back in the past. We've demolished AC Milan. You know, um, I can't see where the worry came. Look, yeah, it's a worry because they're probably the best level under those two of, PSG and well, we can't get Bayern Munich obviously, but like under these kind of guys that we could have gotten. So Inter's probably the next on the list after PSG that you didn't want to get.
Yeah.
So we couldn't have gotten Atletico Madrid. They probably would have been in there higher than Inter again if we were able to get them. But confuse myself there will go by saying Bayern Munich. But they'll be one of the ones to worry about going forward. But like I'd say the most unhappy team out of a lot of them is definitely Real Madrid. They had a kind of an easier enough tie before all of this debacle happened, and it happened down to an error of first of all, they said the computer told them on the screen that they couldn't that somebody couldn't get United or something like that, and then they could get United. Yeah, so Atletico Madrid couldn't get United or something because they played them before
Yeah.
when it should have been us that it was on that list, and then they drew in the Villarreal tie or something like that. They drew United out or something. They couldn't get each other, so they had to go and draw again. And then they got Man City or something like that. So yeah, that was a complete fuck up. What kind of software is that? You were saying it right yourself, like just get some anal old fella in there that just knows what he's doing, Do you know that dude that does all the commentary on the football and he's like, what is it? Kidderminster Harriers 2.
Yes. Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So
That guy.
one of these guys, one of them are just like perfectly on point and know the job that they're doing.
Never
But
misses work. Is always on
yeah,
time and does the job
always there.
100% on
Even
every
even when
occasion.
he's sick, you can tell the difference when he's sick. And 1 week, the next week he's like, 1 week he's Kidderminster Harriers 2, and the next week he's like Kidderminster Harriers 2. So it's like you like it's. I don't know, man. It's supposed they're blaming the software and all of that, but like surely they would have had backup anyway. Like they could have had the
Yeah.
scenarios there anyway that were there without calculation needed by a computer. And oh sorry, this one I just seen Flash in here. I did see Flash. How are you, Flash? And so yeah, I don't understand why they fucked it up so badly, but at the end of the day, we went from playing Salzburg, which was probably genuinely the easiest of the ties, to Inter Milan, which is potentially the second hardest of ties. Am I bothered? No, not really, because we're gonna have to take on one of these teams eventually anyway. I wanted to be able to do it. I want to get it out of the way, and I want to play them straight away. So for me, I would have taken PSG straight away. Get rid of them,
Absolutely.
make everybody fear us, so that they can win with fear taking us on. That's what you want,
Yeah.
you know. So
No.
I don't see fear between taking on anybody between Real Madrid and PSG because I think there's better teams in the competition than both of them at the moment. So either way, one of those beating each other is just a better of two teams. Whereas us like going and beating PSG home and away or something like that would have been a much more formidable, you know, showing. So it would have put more fear into the rest of the teams that we were going to take on anyway. But look, either way, the draw is done. We've got we're away to Inter Milan at the San Siro again. The lads have just played there. You know, even though second string squad went there and did a fantastic job, um, and uh, and we go there again to take on the harder of the two at the moment in the world. But they're
Hmm.
missing Lukaku, so they qualified like with Lukaku and all of these players, and
Yeah.
they're now they're all gone. You know, so does it make them less or a better team? I don't know. Like we've always kind of been able to handle Lukaku when we take him on, so. I don't know. I don't know which way it's going to be more formidable for us with or without him there. Obviously Ericsson was there for a while as well, maybe he's had to
Mm.
retire now overdue to football. So, look, I don't know. Like, bring him on, I say. I'll take anybody
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
get, straight into the quarterfinals then hopefully and see how it goes from there.
Yeah, look, I'd echo the point you're making there, Kev. I think any team, Italian football or any league in Europe at the moment is going to, they're going to fare Liverpool
Mm.
the way that they're playing, the type of football that they're playing with the intensity, etc. Everybody is going to fare us. So again, I'd agree that I wouldn't mind if we played PSG, Real Madrid, anybody
Mm.
at all. I think for us in this competition now, it's the goal is to show how good we are and make a real run for winning the Champions League again
Yeah,
this season. And there's nothing really there that I can see stopping us. If we're on form, we're a match for
yeah.
anybody, really, you know. Just in terms of those other games that were drawn when it eventually went right there, Kev, is there anything that's jumping out at you? I know the PSG and Real Madrid one is definitely a superstar show
Yeah,
there straight away.
yeah. I mean, PSG at home on first and now Real Madrid are going to have to make a real showing. I don't know, can Sporting cause Man City some problems? You know, City tend to have problems against teams they know nothing about.
Mm,
You know, have you noticed that an awful lot? They tend to kind of like get weird draws or they lose goals or like there's goals leakage in City big time in
yeah.
comparison to the other teams that are there in battling for that title. Like, I mean, we have a better defense than City. Especially I think with Thiago and the team we've only conceded like one goal, whereas previous to that we conceded 11 or something when he's in that side as well. I don't know, but
I think
Sporting is going
with
to be a weird one for
Fabinho in the
City.
team, that's made a real difference
Yeah,
for us, really, hasn't it?
yeah, it is. Yeah, but like Sporting Man City, yeah, that's going to be it'll be a weird one. It'll be a test from away in Portugal in that one. We'll see how it
Mm.
goes.
Do you think
But
of that this might be one of these occasions that tends to happen to Pep in Europe where he
mm,
overcomplicates
yeah,
his formation, particularly he
yeah,
tries to outsmart whoever and just ends up making a fool of himself in the end?
yeah. Sometimes the teams just kind of out defend them. No matter how much possession they hold, like City will always have the most possession in every game that they play. That's what they do.
Mm.
It's how they do it, and they'll overlap with the two runners all the time. You know, these two guys are going to be sitting here right on the edge of that box. You can nearly paint an extra square off of them where they come off of that box, exactly where they're
Yeah.
going to be standing and where they're going to make those runs through. You know, we tend to watch an awful. We used to get caught up with City before and that, you know, even when we beat them 4-1 before or you know, whatever like that. They've often had a goal by like Aguero popping up in that position or Bernardo Silva on the other side popping up in a similar position. So they're the kind of positions that you have to watch with City, really. You're not really watching what they're doing on the wings, you're watching what they're doing just inside the edge of that box because that's where the most of their danger and their overlapping happens. So look, if Sporting can read that and you know defend it well, we'll see how it goes. I think with regards to the next game, RB Salzburg and Bayern, unless something shocking happens there, I don't know.
Bayern.
Bayern are they? I mean,
Mm.
you know, they've got semi-final written all over them, really, with
Yeah.
the run that they're coming through, maybe. But we have Chelsea and Lille, the French champions. You know, can Chelsea be caused a bit of a hassle in the Champions League because they don't do it easy in the Champions League. Chelsea, I give them
No.
that. You know, they're always like a draw there or they you know and they always have to just basically win or nick a game or something like that. They don't really go outright and dominate a team. I think
Mm.
the only team I've seen them dominate in the whole group was Juventus. I think, in that result that they got, which was a weird one really. But you know, but Lille could give them trouble. You know,
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And I mean, Chelsea are going into that game. Are they going into that? Yeah, they're going into that game as second. Did they finish second in their group? Did they
I
win their
think
group?
so. I think
Yeah, yeah.
so.
So It should say if they're at home first. Yeah, it looks like it. The next one up for that, you got Villarreal and Juventus. That could
Juventus.
be a bit of a. It should be Juventus all day long, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
as long as Chiesa is fit, or that's his name, isn't it? Chiesa, they play for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as he's fit and all of that, I think they'll do damage. I can't see him at Juventus too much longer. I think he'll appear in the Premier League sometime next season. To be
Mm.
honest with you, or someplace like Paris Saint-Germain, maybe Spain. But if he really wants to play his trade, come to the Premier League, or he seems like a player that would probably do well in Spain. We'll
Yeah,
see
yeah.
though. I don't know.
Tell me what you reckon of United's draw against Atletico.
Now, same one. Really, they're going up against. We know what Atletico are like. We put them to sleep
Mm.
in the stages. They give us a small bit of trouble, all right. But um, maybe they think they've dodged the bullet with PSG there. I don't know, but they've done it against PSG
There's
before.
something about Atletico or Atleti as
Mm,
they like to call themselves. The way that they snuck through the group stages there at the
yeah,
very end, I was
yeah,
like, they're like the Undertaker or
yeah,
something. The
yeah.
way
They
they
just
just
come out of
keep on
anywhere.
getting up, And
Yeah,
I was actually, going, we're going to meet these feckers now somewhere down the
yeah,
line.
yeah,
They're going to cause the problem. There's just something about them. They're the real villains of
yeah.
football, I think. I think them and United is a good matchup. I think they're kind of similar-ish teams in some ways, but I think Atletico have a lot more the shithousery about them that you
Mm.
might need in the knockout stages of
It's
this
gonna be a big test
competition.
for Ranić.
Huge, 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 yeah, huge test for him. He's nothing to lose either, I
No,
suppose, But no, do you know what? He can make them a bit more compact, a bit more
yeah,
solid, and look, all they can do is give it their best go.
yeah, yeah.
I
So the last
like
one is
from
oh, sorry, go on.
no, I was just going to say, I think in terms of, I think there's obstacles for all English teams.
Yeah.
Because it is the Champions League. But between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City, like I can, if they can overcome those obstacles, I can see them going very far in the competition. United, though, I would fear for them, like
Yeah,
not doing too well and going out pretty much in the next round.
it depends. There's no. I haven't actually checked. Is there any structure to where? Do you know the way they do a draw and it goes to the next two matches, like to the
Yeah,
qualifying,
yeah,
then you another draw, and you're packed into the final from then.
yeah.
So is it this one
I
or
know,
is
but
it
I
the next
suppose
one?
my
So
point is, I don't know if I see United getting past
no,
Letty, I don't think it's
can't.
going to happen, to be honest.
Yeah, but they could do that thing where they have that freak result where they did it against PSG that time, and then got
Mm,
absolutely
mm.
hammered in the next game against Barcelona, and we know what happened to Barcelona in the game after that. So yeah, you know what I mean. So like, yeah, that could have been a big night for them if United had passed
Mm.
Barcelona that time. They would have been facing us. We wouldn't have had that 4-0 at Anfield against Barcelona, which is etched in the history books now. Anyway, Benfica and Ajax, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so two massive clubs, but at the moment two minnows of
Yeah,
European football by the looks of it.
yeah.
So look, God, I know
I
who's
like
going to
seeing
win that.
games like this
In
mainly for
terms of
the
what? In terms of
in
looking
in
at younger
terms
players
of
there.
looking like similar now to what I would see there, right? I like Villarreal Juventus game and I like
Mm,
Benfica and Ajax game because I just find that whoever gets them in the next round is there's an option in there to even go further for the team that
yeah,
get them, if you get me.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it's almost, and I could say it's almost like a bike because you have to play Champions League. They're all the best in their country, so
Yeah,
but some are weaker than others. So we'll see. I'm hoping there's a couple of shocks there, mainly with Salzburg, mainly with Sporting. That'll be handy. The rest I'm not too
yes.
bothered about. I'll take a Champions League semi final against Chelsea again at Anfield. Go goal and all that. But
I was at that one in 2005. I was
yeah,
at that
yeah,
match.
yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ, I never
It's a
forget it. I like, to be honest with you, in terms of, if I had to pick between the Champions League and the league, I would take the league
mm,
because I would love for us to get that 20th league title.
yeah,
Um, but I would be very interested if Sporting could do something against City.
mm,
I'd really fancy us then to
yeah,
go all the way,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think so.
City would be my biggest concern.
Yeah, yeah, they can. They're out for it. They really want to do it. I don't. If I was to meet Man City, I don't want to meet them in a final. I think
No,
I think English Champions League finals are boring affairs.
boring.
They
Yeah,
aren't they?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
just boring affairs, and it's obviously it'll be in our favour. Our fans are European pedigree. They know how to lift
Mm,
the team. Chelsea tend to bottle it when it gets to that kind of stage. Or not Chelsea. Man City tend to
City.
bottle it when it gets to that stage. Um, so it's you don't want to, but like you'd rather see what happens before that, not to happen in the final, because then you're just like, right, so let's concentrate on whatever then after that, or each team can go and concentrate on whatever the other cups are. There's also a great show for us for the League Cup this year because City being out of it, they've won nearly all of them in the last,
Yes.
you know. Did they have surpass our record in the last decade?
I'm not sure in terms of overall league cups, but they would definitely be up there.
I
I
think they were on
remember in the
leave,
early
maybe
80s, we
pass.
won it like 4 times in a row
Yeah,
or
like
something, was it?
I think we have 9. Is it 9? No, it's
Something
8 or
around
9,
that
something like
bracket.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and geez, I should know that off the top of my head. And but I think City kind of either surpassed that or just got right next to it. So it'd be
Well,
nice
we
for us
haven't
to
won
go.
it in a while. I think
Yeah,
2012 or McKenny
2012,
was the last time against
Kenny
Birmingham.
was the manager, and that was the
Mm,
last one that we won. So it'd be nice to take one nearly 10 years later and just keep topping up
it
that
would.
like twice a decade. It'd be nice to kind of take that kind of trophy and kind of concentrate
Mm,
and just pick it up like that way. Anyway, that's the Champions League run-ins there. So with
cool.
the first ones are the 15th and 16th of February for and then the second batch starts on the 22nd of February. The return legs are on the 8th, the 9th of March, and the 15th and 16th of March. So,
Yeah.
so you got a Paddy's Day fucking thing coming up there. So, yeah, Jeff, but yeah, Liverpool are playing the week before on the 8th. So, yeah, so we're the second, and we'll be playing on the Wednesday this time, and we're playing on the
Nice.
Tuesday then the following. So, that's a good thing of that. Anyway, so that's it. That's the Champions League out of the way. All their fuck ups, the whole lot. Real Madrid not happy. United just went from one bad egg to another. And I think I like getting a bigger opposition.
Yeah.
To me, Inter kind of similar to Porto, really.
Hmm.
In that kind of thing. It's Porto really good in their country, but can they really handle a pressing game as good as Liverpool's? We'll find
Hmm.
out. They might come at us and attack, but we'll find out. Um,
I just
but
think
anyway,
Italian football is that little bit behind at
yeah,
the
it's way
minute,
behind. I think,
It's just that
yeah,
little bit behind, and
yeah,
I think we should be confident enough in what we're doing
yeah.
over there, and obviously at home then as well.
Yeah.
Do you want to just have a quick chat around the Premier League over the weekend?
Yeah,
Maybe some of the
just a
top
bit of
games
a
there.
run up there. I'll bring that up there now. So we'll do the
Will we start with Liverpool and Stevie G? Will we?
Fixtures. Yeah, you could do, man. Oh, jeez, what am I doing that for? So that's the one I'm looking for. All right. So as we're bringing them up, right. So
So we
we
can
will
kind of
look ahead to this. Are we going to look ahead to the weekends, or we're just going to look back? And we look back. We look back first. And we look ahead
we look
afterwards.
back, and then at the very end we look forward to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
weekend maybe.
That's what we could do. So the results kind of went. Brentford have got a win again. They're back to win away, and they
They
got a win
did.
against a high flying Watford at the moment.
Yeah,
They've been playing
yeah,
well.
yeah.
So that was the Friday's game early on in the week, 2-1 Brentford. So I mean, there's not much you can say about that. It's just really easy.
Well, I think in terms of shots on target, possession, and things like that, I
Yeah,
think Brentford deserved to win
they
that
did.
game.
Yeah.
Look again, they're a cracking little team. Watford with the Ranieri factor, they're humming and hawing, aren't they? Like there's
Yeah,
some freakish results coming their way, but then obviously sometimes they just lose games as well.
yeah,
I think Ranieri was brought in there to keep them up.
yeah,
Hopefully he's able to do that because I'm a big fan of Ranieri as well.
yeah,
But again, it's just one of those games. I think everything in terms of Brentford on the day, they were definitely the better team and
yeah,
they deserved the 3 points at the end of it.
yeah. That's it. The team I felt most unlucky for in the whole weekend was Wolves. I know City are accountable, but they were poor in that game, and they didn't deserve the win. They didn't deserve the penalty, and that penalty decision was a shocking decision.
There's a very good argument that like and I kind of say it not that it was done on
Yeah.
purpose, but like the gods were on City's side
So
that
yeah,
day. They
yeah,
were nearly handed the 3 points
yeah,
from the sending off, which I thought it was a crazy sending off. Okay, he did wrong, fair
yeah.
enough, you know what I mean? But you're just ruining a game, sending a guy off like that over
Just
something
give it,
like
just
that,
give him a warning. Give him the
Yeah,
warning,
yeah,
and even
yeah,
move
yeah.
on.
He may have had a bit of a
He's
rush for
been
blood thing, yeah, but
petulant. He's been petulant, but it's not a sending
exactly.
off. It's not ruining.
No,
You're ruining the game that way. But even up until that point, I mean, the Wolves are defending really well. So they had a couple of chances themselves.
Connor Cody got one off the line,
Yeah,
brilliant defending.
it's
Wolves are doing
just
really well, as you said.
I think that's in a couple of weeks. Connor Cody's after doing that off the line, man. So like he's saving Wolves there as well. But yeah, I found it. I found the penalty decision thing. What's it been? John Moss, is it? The
Hmm.
referee. I was giving out about him as well the other day in the live stream.
Right.
I think he's shocking half the time. To be honest with you, I think he's like Mike
Well,
Dean, but just with not as much suave in a way that he wants to focus on
you would
himself.
think with VAR as well
Yeah,
that they would be able to break that down,
but
And I
that's
remember the
Mariner was on
commentators
that,
as
didn't
well
it?
saying,
Mariner doesn't want to
yeah,
overshadow his
Andrew
body.
Marner.
So he didn't
Right,
want to
right, right.
overshadow his body on the line, and he was just like, I don't want to look wrong. It's the same thing that these refs have been doing that. Those type of refs, a couple of them, a handful of them there together, that
Yeah,
don't like being wrong and they don't like being overruled by VAR. So he
yeah.
did the same thing with Spurs against Liverpool when we went 2-1 up in the stoppage time. Went up the other end,
Oh,
and
was
because the
that when
ball was
Harry
played,
Kane
when the ball was
scored?
played offline, and then remember the linesman did this on the sideline to
Yeah,
put up
yeah,
his
you
fist. That
celebrated.
was that as well, you know. So he did that on that time because he didn't want to be overruled, even though the ball
Mm,
didn't come off Lovren to to put Harry Kane through on goal, so it should have been offside anyway. When he
yeah.
looked at it, so that's the whole point. You know, it was
And then Harry Kane, was that a retaken penalty or something?
was that
Or
the
did he
one?
miss one as well that day?
He missed one of that there. Yeah,
Missed that one that day.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So you got
yeah.
there was like, oh, did they score only 2 penalties? I'm trying to remember myself. Anyway, that's when
4
Spurs were a
years ago,
nine.
wasn't
Yeah, that's when
it?
Spurs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but no, but that was disgusting to me, man, because the linesman and the referee should have held their head in
Yeah.
shame that day. To be honest with you, it was terrible
Yeah, and I
officiating.
suppose like the thing is about that particular game the other day against Wolves. Again, I'd agree with what you're saying in terms that Wolves put in a very good showing. Brilliant defensive game from
Mm.
them, particularly when they were down to 10 men.
Yeah,
They almost held on to get a point
yeah,
out of the game, and I suppose the margins are so fine at the top of the table between
mm.
Chelsea, Liverpool, and City. Chelsea or Man City, I should say rather, probably don't deserve to be on the top of the table at the moment
Yeah,
following that result. As I said, they were given 3 points
mm.
and they were very happy to take it.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those games where City just had all the possession,
yeah.
dominated the game, etc., etc. But luck was on their side. And I suppose going forward, that can only be a signal to other teams that they can go, you know what,
Yeah,
we can have a
we
go
can
after
go
City
after the
teams.
we can
There's
go at them.
there's not as much to fear as we
Yeah,
first
they
thought,
look a bit leggy, man. To be honest with you, the other day they look. I know they got De Bruyne coming back and all of that, but if the rest of the team looks leggy, they can't expect De
Mm,
Bruyne to come back from injury to try and up the pace and do that because he'll only re-injure himself again. And
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
kind of outlook put you're looking at. Another team that kind of got lucky in the weekend was Chelsea on top with a
Yes,
couple
three.
of penalties. There was like 3 different penalties in that game. What the hell's going on?
But it was weekend of penalties. How was it?
Yeah,
Six
I
penalties
don't
over the whole
know.
weekend or something like that, if not more.
Yeah,
Yeah. So another crazy game.
mm,
Leeds, in fairness to them, done well, didn't they?
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I, I think I think the thing with Leeds and the thing that will always lead them down when they're playing teams that are arguably better
yeah,
is that they play an attacking style of
yeah,
football as well. So they will go for it. And
yeah,
if you have a team that plays in a similar style but with maybe just better
yeah.
quality players, there's a good chance that you're going to beat them. You know.
They're a different animal
Um.
with Bamford back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and they've
Yeah.
got Ealing back there now as well in the last couple of weeks, so they're looking a lot better.
Mm.
Rafinha's, I don't really think he's missing, doesn't he? Get
Martinez
he
is a
gets
fine player, isn't he?
yeah. So
I know there's
like
talk of him going to Liverpool or
there
Leeds,
is
so
yeah.
I would be very happy if someone like him
Yeah, if he was
came on
coming in
board.
and rotating with the lads in the midfield, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. But look,
Yeah.
since you got look, I just said it again that they just seem to be only be able to nick games rather than see them out.
Mm.
There's I can't see other than maybe 2 games a season where they were dominant, and they might as well just count the draw that they got against us early season as a win, really, So because they just went full on defensive when they went down to the 10 men, But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, man. So but anyway, the next game is Arsenal 3, Southampton 0.
Yes.
Yeah,
Arsenal had a good old result there,
they
didn't
did,
they?
yeah, they did
They needed that. They needed that.
to pull up the goal difference when we
Yeah.
trounced them, is it? Yeah, but
I think again, I'd nearly make the same point about
yeah,
Southampton in terms of they do try to play football the right way.
yeah,
And again, when they come up against a better team, which Arsenal
yeah.
are, definitely on paper at the very
They never
least.
have luck against Arsenal anyway, Southampton.
No,
Nah, that's
no,
it's kind of a
no.
bogey team for Southampton. Even though Arsenal are a good
Mm.
side and they've always been a good side, but they can't seem to get it right against Arsenal.
And
Um,
Martin Odegaard got himself a goal again.
I did.
He's starting to look a bit of a player, isn't he?
Liverpool fan,
I know, I
yeah,
know, I
Liverpool
know,
fan.
I know.
Burnley and West Ham watched it. Uh,
0-0,
nil all.
boring game.
No, there was excitement through, but it was just a stalemate. Two teams just trying
Yeah,
to better each other. Um, the one as well, another team that got lucky in the weekend was United. They got a penalty. Ronaldo
yeah,
just lucky to come away with the points. There's a few teams that got lucky this weekend. I'd nearly even say, including ourselves, the way like we were playing well enough and controlling the game, and they were shouting for penalties there against Ali, but there was no contact there. I don't know where they were
yeah.
screaming about it. Ours was contact, and Robertson should have had another 1 or 2 penalties himself. So there'll be no complaints from Aston Villa fans to say if they got 1 penalty, we should have gotten 4. That's just
Yeah,
the way
yeah.
it is. So in the end, we got 1, and it took a penalty to beat Aston Villa. But that just shows the difference in the quality of the side that Gerrard is starting to create there, and
I,
hopefully
I,
they
I,
cause
I
hassle to
think
everybody else.
I think just in terms of United, like they were playing Norwich, who are pretty much
Mm.
the whipping boys of the league this
Mm.
season. To be fair, again, I think Gerrard is only there for, I think that was his fourth game, is it?
Third.
Third or
His
fourth,
fourth one's
maybe his
against
fourth
Norwich.
game in chair.
Is it four, is it?
Oh, is it?
Norwich
Oh,
just tonight, I think
in
they're
and,
playing. Yeah.
in and around that anyway.
So it's Gerrard
Um,
versus Dean Smith.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus
today.
Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, just there'll be a bit of stall there, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think United were playing Norwich, who are the whipping boys at league.
Yeah.
So you would expect them, even if Ole was there, to manage to get 3 points against them. Again, it was just by the one goal. A penalty as well. But I think the difference between Norwich and Aston Villa at the minute is that Gerrard is actually creating
Yeah.
a team, even such a short space of time.
Yeah.
I think Gerrard, we definitely deserved the 3 points.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
surprised we didn't
absolutely.
get a
Yeah.
goal, to be
Yeah, yeah.
honest, from open play. We should have got more than the one as well, to be honest with you. But I just think when you kind of put everything together, the fact that Gerrard was back there was a bit of an atmosphere, there was a bit of a sense of occasion. It was just one of those games. To be honest with you, I thought if we were going to come on stuck, that it would have been a draw.
Yeah.
I kind of could have seen that happening, but I was kind of glad that Gerrard did get the reception that he deserved.
Yeah.
But
Oh
then
yeah.
we did just treat Villa as Aston Villa after
Yeah.
that and just go for the kill.
Yeah, the sentimentality went out
Again,
the window.
but you have to do it,
Yeah,
Kev.
yeah.
If you get caught up in that, and because it's Steven
Yeah,
Gerrard,
it destroys.
you could easily
Old
slip up,
Liverpool would have
you know?
gotten caught up in that. Old Liverpool 10 years ago would have gotten caught, or 6, 7 years ago would have gotten caught up in that. But not this Liverpool. No way. They just get the job done and that's it. Also, can we please say one thing? Andy Robb, I fucking love you, but will you ever shoot? Just shoot a fucking ball. Just kick it. About 7 of them there, man. You could have just drilled into the top corner, bottom corner, anywhere. You were the most open space I've ever seen. Please shoot, buddy. I love you, but just please shoot. You know, so that's all I'd say about that. So we got down through that. So the Leicester City trounced all over Newcastle. Tielemans, man.
4-0.
Yeah, he got 2 goals himself again. Tielemans just after coming back, man. Did you know, he gets a couple of injuries, whatever like that, but what a player he is when he gets going.
Yeah,
You know,
there was talk him going to Liverpool.
yeah,
as well
there
in
is.
summer.
Yeah,
Somebody
still,
like
they're
you
still
thought,
looking at him. We look at players for a year and a half, 2 years before we make contact. So
Probably cost a lot of money at this point, I'd imagine, though.
about 40 odd million. He's not an English player, so you
Yeah,
get him for
true,
40 to
true.
55 million, something like that. Maybe that would be including the add-ons or something like that.
Yeah.
Which we'd have no problem paying if we were to win stuff like. But
Absolutely.
yeah. So the routine. 4-0, I saw it when it went to 2-0 and then I kind of switched off after that and then I realised like within minutes they'd scored another 2. So yeah, so that's that. Fucking hell, man. Crystal Palace 3, Everton 1.
That was 3-1 in the end. So
Yeah.
I just say there about the
sorry,
Leicester and the Newcastle
Yeah.
thing. The thing I know, so like Brendan Rodgers needed that win big
Yeah.
time, But I think from seeing the 4-0, it just reminded me of, even with all the money and all the good feeling around the club, how much trouble Newcastle are actually in.
They're in
Like,
huge
I
amount of
think there's a
trouble.
very, very good chance they're going to go down
Go
this
down.
season.
Yeah.
There's a friend of mine actually whose name is Kevin as well.
Right.
By chance, I'm going to get him on here one of the days. I
We're
think
playing
he's the
Newcastle
only-
on Thursday. Get a man for then.
He's the only proper Newcastle fan that I know, right? And the reason, he'd be a bit younger than me, but the reason he's a Newcastle fan, it was back in the days of Tino Asprilla, the Kevin Keegan era. So he was only a kid at the time, and Tino Asprilla remember those cartwheel celebrations he used to? He done it on the TV, and I think Kevin done the same celebration as a kid in front of it. And I think his older brother commented on it. And from that day on, he ended up following Newcastle, okay?
All right.
But his dilemma is this, right? He's a proper left-wing socialist.
Right.
So the fact that the Saudi Arabians have taken over Newcastle United, this is like, he's not one of these people that can put that to one side.
No.
And his conscience is clear.
Yeah.
So even though he follows Newcastle, he's the only person I know that's hoping they go down this year.
All
so
right.
it takes all the attention off.
The Saudi
puts
thing.
everything on the back burner, and then he said he might start supporting them on the way back up,
Jesus.
So that's just an aside, but it's just interesting the dilemma that Newcastle supporters have within themselves at the moment, But yeah, they're in serious trouble. And you were talking then, Kev, after that, just to move back onto Crystal Palace and Everton. Very impressed with what Patrick Vieira is doing this year. We both spoke about that. I think I've seen somebody commenting about there was a lot of talk about Gerrard coming back to Liverpool someday, but there's not an awful lot of talk about somebody like Vieira going back to Arsenal.
No.
I think the way
he's playing
massive
Arsenal football, style football, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
and
been
doing it
looking
with
at it as
Crystal
well.
Palace as well. That's the
Yeah,
important thing
he's
to
based a lot
remember.
of his stuff around the midfielders a lot,
Yeah,
and he's working well because he knows that that's how Arsenal played back in the day with Pires and
absolutely.
Vieira, and then with bombing wingers and stuff like that, like, you know. So
Yeah.
like, but Conor Gallagher's been doing fantastically well for them since coming from
Yes.
Chelsea. You know,
Yeah.
I see a lot of.
Fantastic there.
Yeah, so like I see a lot of people there on like commenting. You know, when you get some of the Liverpool fans, like we're all Liverpool fans and we all love our club and all of that, but some people are just not clued into football. So a lot of people they don't understand who's from where and what. So I was like, that was me. I'd be throwing the money at Crystal Palace for Conor Gallagher. I'd be giving them everything that they want, and I'd get Conor Gallagher into the club, and I'd be like, but why would they pay fucking Crystal Palace? He belongs to Chelsea. You know, so do you know, they haven't got a clue. Like, so I kind of
Yeah.
comment on that the other day just to say we cannot be going after players like this. They're on loans from other clubs. He's going to get a chance at his own. It'd be like Harvey Elliott, somebody coming
Yeah.
in for Harvey Elliott for us from Blackburn days when he would obviously be given a chance at Liverpool first before they just kind of
100%.
sell him
Yeah.
on, like, you know, just like Ben Wood one was, just like, you know, what's the other lad, there's something, the Kent, Ryan Kent, and
Yep.
the other lad that just Harry Wilson that just left us recently, you
Harry
know,
Wilson.
so
Yeah. And when Harry Wilson came in first, I was like, this fella's a
yeah,
player.
it's
Like
gonna
the
be good,
free
yeah,
kicks, the foot, and even he can't get on the bloody bench.
yeah, yeah,
Like that's the embarrassment of riches that we
yeah,
have, the players that we have coming up. And again, I
I
suppose the
know,
same with Chelsea, and they've been doing it for years. They have these players that they
yeah,
just discard that become the best players in the world, like
see
your
it,
Kevin De Bruyne's, your Mo Salah's,
like
Lukaku's.
Jordan Ibe, Solanke, Harry Wilson, all sold off the
Yeah,
Bournemouth, and then, you know.
it's amazing.
Yeah, so you know you got but look, the Crystal Palace won that one 3-1. The shots were fairly similar shots, and
Mm.
in that, but Palace were really they were dominant in possession.
If
They used the ball
if
much
you
better.
were if you were an Everton
Yeah,
supporter at the moment, Kevin, what would you be thinking?
I'd be thinking I want to see two windows with Benitez behind it, and I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't
get
be
rid of
calling for his
I
head, yeah.
wouldn't be getting rid of a manager of that caliber.
Mm.
Knowing his success rate at Liverpool, knowing what he did for us, I wouldn't be getting calling for his head. It's easy for Everton fans because they have no love for him.
Yeah.
They're still on the
They've
side of
hate
hate.
from a lot of them, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've hate for him more than anything else. So it's easy for them to call for his head, you know. But they're not going to get a manager of that caliber to go from Ancelotti to Benitez, and both one walked away from the club and one would be given the chopping block. No high quality manager is going to want to go in there and do that job. You
I
know,
think they've been very lucky to get two
yeah,
managers
I
like
think
that,
so.
to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
yeah, yeah. I think so as well. I think they're punching above their weight. They look there and they seen that there is funds there available from
Yeah.
this ownership, but it's really coming down to a board problem, not backing the managers really. Well, they did with James Rodriguez, but they're getting their free transfers, not paying enough money for them, paying
Mm.
high wages. You know, they're going to go down the same road. It's kind of like, how can I say it? How can I say it in a way? Kind of like AC Milan did in their time, where they
Yeah.
were paying in high. Some of them they were getting in with these deals and stuff. Then paying absolutely high wages, then putting themselves in this shit, and then money. Barcelona are gone the same way, bringing in a lot
Hmm.
of players, spending a lot of money, and then now they have no money to cover.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
anywhere. And
It's amazing what's happened there, isn't
yeah,
it?
I
Like
like
it's
that. Danny
crazy.
Alves is back there. I seen that.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know, man. There's not much I can say else about that. Everton have to give Benitez time. You know, Ancelotti didn't give Everton
He
time.
didn't give Everton
He
time,
just
really, did
used them
he?
as a stepping stone.
Stepping
That's
stone,
exactly what he
absolutely.
was,
Bit of
just to fill
money.
a gap for a year and
Mm.
make him a few bob. Kind of what he did to Chelsea as well.
Hmm.
In a way, we came in as like an interim manager rather than an actual manager or something like that, you know. And yeah, so I can't see, like I'd love to see Everton and United up there battling Liverpool for the title every
Mm.
season
Be
because then
great,
there would be
wouldn't it?
yeah it'd be just a great spectacle to watch,
Mm.
and it would just bring out the anger that they used to have for years and the passion
Yeah.
that they used to have for years for these kind of games. But um no, outside that, no, I can't see where um Everton will benefit from getting rid of Benitez right
Yeah,
now.
no, I totally agree with you. I think
Yeah,
Rafa is a good manager. You know, that's not going to change.
yeah,
I think, and I wouldn't want to be advising Everton fans, but if I was one, I think you just have to be patient in
patient.
this case.
Yeah,
Give him a couple of windows. You know, even on a tight budget, he
yeah,
still would give you a good team.
mm,
So yeah, just be patient with Rafa. I hate to say it, but I think he's going to do a good job there eventually if
mm.
he's given the support that he deserves.
Yes, yeah, he just needs these couple of windows. Give him
Mm.
this winter, give him this summer, see what he does. He kind of came in late on this, he didn't have much time to. Well, he came in kind of halfway through the summer,
And
but
again, there's the thing about that sporting director guy that left as
mm,
well. I think that was, I think
mm,
maybe him and Rafa probably clashed a little bit.
mm.
I think he's gone now as well, so that probably gives Rafa that little bit more control
Rafa
to
likes
run the club.
manager. He doesn't like being a
Abs-
coach. He likes being a manager.
exactly,
That's what
exactly.
it
And he
is.
was the same at Liverpool
Yeah,
all the way down the line. He wanted everybody the same, doing the same things,
I think
and I think that's what he's trying to create at
Paulson had
Goodison
to
Park as
leave
well.
because it was Paulson, or was it no, Comoli was before him. So but I know, which is the difference there with Klopp, because Klopp is more of a coach,
Mm.
than what he is. This is why he lets
But he still has
Edwards
that ethos
he's got it.
all
Like
the way
he's got the
down.
full power,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but he's got to work in tandem with Michael Edwards, and this is what they do. They come to a common ground, and it's a good
Mm.
working relationship. It's going to come to an end soon because Michael Edwards is leaving now.
Mm.
But the understudy that's there is after learning all of Michael Edwards' tricks, and he's taken over from him at the end of the season. So, um, look, that's that pretty much for the Premier League
Yeah.
roundup.
Just give me
Uh,
1 second there, Kev. My light is after going off in the background. I'm just going to turn it back on.
yeah, do yeah, okay. Let there be light. There you go. Yeah,
I don't even know why that went off, but there you go.
it's a timer thing, I'd say.
Uh,
If it has not been
yeah,
used
must
in
be
there,
something. I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
think the other laptop went off or something. Anyway,
Aye,
yeah, so we'll crack on. So that's the Champions League out of the way. That's kind of the
yeah,
main talking points of the Premiership over the
yup,
weekend. Do you want to have a very quick look at what's coming up in the fixtures this week and
yeah,
then on the weekend as well, maybe?
yeah. We can do. So coming up, we have tonight in tonight's games, because I mean we're basically looking ahead to the two sets of games, right? So we're going to
Yeah.
look ahead to you got Norwich and Aston Villa tonight. So it's Dean
Ooh.
Smith. Aston Villa coming to take on Dean Smith with Steven Gerrard now at the helm. So that should be a
Yeah.
tasty affair.
Yeah.
The Man United
I'd
game, by the
obviously.
way, and the Brentford game is it Brentford? Brighton, is it Man United and Brighton? Or Yeah, no, Brentford
No, Wolves are
has
playing
been
Brighton, aren't they?
postponed.
Has it? Why?
Yeah, coronavirus. United have too
All
many
right. Oh,
cases of
okay. Okay.
coronavirus. So yeah, so that's been postponed. That'll be done at a later date. Among some other games like the like Chelsea, I think, against Brighton, Spurs against Brighton, whatever the hell is happening in Brighton, I don't know.
Mm.
Man City and Leeds. Man City are at home. Can Leeds go and put on the type of show that they did against Chelsea at the weekend and maybe come away with better? Considering s-
Again, on paper, right? And I know Pep is a huge admirer of Bielsa
mm.
and things like
Last
that.
season, oh
So
by the
you'd
way,
hope,
Leeds took 4 points away
yeah.
from 2 games against City.
So you'd hope that Pep would do his thing where he
Yeah.
overcomplicates something to try and
Mm.
outmaster his Jedi master, whatever
Yeah.
goes on in Pep's brain some days. But like, if I was to hope for any result out of this, I would hope that Leeds could pull off a draw.
Yeah.
I think that's the maximum they can do,
Yeah.
and if they got that, I would be very happy. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'd go back to the same argument, regardless of what they did last year, that if Leeds play the way they play, City will outplay them.
Mm.
So maybe a draw is what I'd
It's,
have my
as I
fingers
said,
crossed for.
Leeds are bringing back some of their players now. I've always had a soft
Yeah,
spot for Leeds myself, but like they're bringing back some of the players now, and they're getting them back and they're in form, and hopefully, Bamford can nick in there with a goal. They're starting to defend better as a unit, even though they're still very
mm,
attacking. He's got the
yeah.
players back doing what they do best. Really, but they're gradually getting there. Not fully back to the best, but they're getting there. So yeah, hopefully look at drawing that one. We'll see how it goes. Um, yeah, we'll see.
And we just say between Villa and Norwich, we're going to go for Villa in that one, I'd imagine, are we?
I'd say Gerrard's going to have to do one over the previous manager.
Has to.
There's no
Yeah,
question in
yeah.
that. He's going to have to do it. He'll want that for him personally. Well, maybe he doesn't, but in the back of his mind he will, and the fans will
Yeah.
as well. Brighton and Wolves. It's a
There's
tough
just a
one.
draw written all over it.
Yeah, they have no Jimenez now as well. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, he's out now as well. So
he's gone for that one. It has Brighton are the draw masters, aren't they?
they are,
Yeah.
they are, they are.
So
There's something about down there, isn't there?
yeah, I know. Crystal Palace and Southampton.
I would obviously go for Crystal Palace
I go
on
Palace
this.
in this one as
As
well.
we touched on Vieira, I think he's
Yeah.
doing a great job, and I think he will continue to do that. I think Southampton are just going to struggle,
Yeah, yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I go for Palace as well in that one. I think they take, especially when they're at home. It's
Mm,
tough. They tend to play better away, but they're sometimes they get games like this against Southampton. They'll play better at home, but we'll see. I go for Palace in that one anyway. Burnley
yeah.
and Watford. another draw specialist in Burnley.
It is, isn't it?
And yeah,
This is draw written all
it's
over it
just
as
as
well.
well, yeah.
It does,
We're
doesn't it?
getting weeks where it's just draw games there for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, do you know
The,
what? I'm going to swing for one. I'm going to swing for Watford. I'm going to swing for them. There's no
yeah,
logic in that. Is
because they
there
just
any X
lost the
factor? I
game, they
think
need
it's
to
true
bounce
result.
back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
Dennis will be up for it. And if it's all for me, it's a battle between Corney and Dennis. If any one of the two of them, whichever one of them plays better, and starts going
yeah.
first, it's that all over. I'm going to still say draw because it has that.
Draw.
It's got that smell off it. Arsenal and West Ham is probably, you know,
This is at the Emirates as well, isn't it?
yeah, it's one of the good games
Um,
of the week, and that's
yeah,
tomorrow
yeah,
night at
yeah,
8 o'clock.
yeah. Look, hopefully a good attacking game in that one. I think either team has the capability to win
Mm.
this one. I think based on, and again, God, it looks like a fucking draw too. But I'm going to swing for. I'm going to go for West Ham. I'm going to go for West Ham.
I'm actually going to go the opposite.
There
I
we
think
go.
West
We
Ham
will
has been
see
out of
who's
form
correct.
since. Yeah, I seen that West Ham have been kind of out of form since they beat
Mm.
us, and they drew against Burnley. They haven't been firing, but as I said, to you, the way they play, even when they were playing against
Anything
us,
can happen.
yeah, the way they play, no, it's just that they're that kind of they're a counter attacking team, but
Mm.
they tend to over defend too much when they're going up against bigger opposition. They kind of got away with stuff against us, but and we took it
This
on the
is the
chin,
thing,
obviously.
though. Are they going to think Arsenal are bigger opposition? I think
Yeah.
West Ham are going to win by playing on the break.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know will they fare Arsenal all that much.
I
I
think
think they'll
Arteta
see
and
a
Arsenal
lot
have
of.
only got top four on their sides, and they're going for it.
Mm,
So if they really want to start pushing on with the results, the only blip that they've had is us, really.
yeah.
So I think they'll drive on.
Well,
And
Everton beat them, didn't they?
oh yeah, that was one, yeah. But
They had
that's
a bit
just
of
a
a
weird. That's okay, but that's a blip for them, you
yeah.
know. But like, but for us, it was really expected that we were going to be there. So I said it to you
Mm,
that day we were going to beat them 3 or 4 nil, and yeah, no, I'm still going to go for Arsenal. I think they can take West Ham at the Emirates. I really
okay,
do.
I'm going to shoot for West Ham, so
Okay.
we'll see what happens there, Kev.
Dun, dun, dun. That's the first one we got opposite on. I said a while.
Sure, no harm in that, buddy. No
Leicester
harm.
and Spurs.
Ooh, interesting one here now as well, isn't it? Um. Oh, so Leicester had a good old win for
Hmm.
themselves over the weekend. Would have given them a lot of
Tielemans is
confidence.
back. Madison is
Yes,
playing well.
Madison looked good the other day as well, didn't he? I wonder would the small break that Tottenham had do them any favours, or would it go against them? Leicester at home. You know, this is draw as well, written all
Yeah,
over.
so I was
But if I'm
thinking,
going to
yeah.
swing for someone in this one, I'm going to go for Leicester. Just
I'm probably going to go opposite if I was to swing another way. I think Conte's
cool,
got Spurs
cool.
playing well. But this is a big test for them. They've got Leicester and
Mm,
Liverpool in a row. I think they could probably nick the win against Leicester here and then lose to
yeah,
us on Sunday.
that
Uh,
would actually suit me if that happened.
yeah.
That would suit me big
So
time if that
I
happened
think
there.
they'll go all out. They'll have to play a big game against Leicester. Um, yeah, you know, it has draw written all over, but we're gonna have to start
It does.
swinging for teams in one way or the
Yeah,
other.
but that's
So
the only reason I'm picking one.
yeah, so you
I
pick
prefer
Leicester, I'd
to
go
put one
Spurs.
down.
That's two opposites there now straight away. And
No, Chelsea and Everton
Chelsea and Everton. Yeah.
at
Oh
Stamford
please, oh
Bridge.
please, oh please, Rafa.
Rafa is due a result,
He's
right?
due a result.
He's
Yeah.
due a result. I think he can hopefully set up the team in a way to nag Chelsea.
I think
Frustrate
he's
them.
got the Liverpool curse on him, where he
He
tends to
does.
lose or draw against teams that are lesser quality, which is what Rafa does. But he's the team is good when they're playing against higher opposition.
Mm,
You know, so look at that against the Arsenal result that they got recently. You know, and then they go and they lose to Crystal Palace, but then they can
yeah.
bounce back and beat Chelsea 2-1 or 1-0 away at home at Stamford Bridge. You know, so I
And
don't know.
I think as well, I think Rafa will be up for this considering the hard time that the Chelsea fans give him.
Yeah,
Because of the bit of time he spent there, even though
yeah,
he done a fantastic
yeah,
job, won UEFA Cup. He did qualify from Europe as
yeah,
well in that campaign, didn't
yeah.
he? I think Rafa will be up for this. I hope Everton are too. So I will go for Everton in this one. I
I'm going to go
presume
for
you will
Everton
go
as
the
well in this
same
one. I
way.
think
Yeah,
I got
very good.
it's more hope along the lines that they're just going to do this bounce back thing that they do against teams that are bigger, better quality. So hopefully, look, it's Chelsea. We should be saying Chelsea all day, but this is more of a pick on a hope. So a
Yeah,
draw at
yeah.
least would be great for us. But I think maybe I'm thinking in a Rafa bounce back, but it's Thursday, 48.
Bounce back ability.
Yeah, just think about Chelsea and Liverpool playing at the exact same time all the time, and it's doing me nothing recently because I'm constantly like switching back and forth watching.
Switching
Switching,
yeah.
not switching over on the channel that I'm watching, but like over onto this and watching this live kind of results. So I don't know. Anyway, us against
Liverpool and
Newcastle.
No, we are at home.
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle are having a terrible season.
Yeah.
Everything points to us winning this game.
Yeah.
In a high-scoring fashion, I'd imagine. I think it would be a miracle for Newcastle to walk away from this game getting even a point.
Yeah.
So based on that, I'll obviously be tipping us, but I want us to do it in a convincing manner.
Yeah, I
would like for us to get the game over and done with quick, and then maybe make a couple of substitutions and rest some players.
Let's do what we did there in the previous, because I know it's been tough in the last couple of games. Teams have really been coming out and going at us, and it's been hard to score kind of early enough. But previously we were scoring early in the games. The game was over by the time we hit 20 minutes. So let's kind of do the same thing along that fashion. Will we still rest Jota and give him a chance to come out? Will Lord Divock be given a chance to start again? I don't know. Who I was disappointed with the other night was Ox. He didn't play too well.
Did you think so?
Yeah, he didn't play too well in the
false nine?
Yeah, he was too. Even though he was dropping back to try and help out and all that, he wasn't doing what Jota was able to do. Which is,
I suppose it's not his position either, is it?
No.
He hasn't like played there before.
I like him when he comes to the midfield, so don't get me wrong with that. I just don't want him seeing him playing in that false nine role again, because he was too deep all the time, and he wasn't running into Jota positions to nick it. Like the amount of times he could have had a goal there if Jota was there was ridiculous. So Divock obviously had a sore knee the other night, so he couldn't play. I don't know if he's available for this one. If he was, I'd probably start him if you're going to still rest Jota and bring him off for another 20 minutes after knocking out. If not, start Jota, get the game over with, bring on Divock, and comfy it off that way. Right, so that's the first round of matches.
Yeah,
done and dusted. Right, so Kev, the last well, it's a double week this week for the games, really, because they're only within 3 days of each other, without it being a Champions League on its own, because normally we would do the midweek Champions League game after we've done a roundup or preview, but this time it's a roundup, a preview of a midweek game and a preview of a weekend game as well at the same time. So the first game kicking off at the 12:30 kickoff on the Saturday is what is it, a coronavirus-filled Manchester United against Brighton, who have, it seems that they're coming across teams that are only just getting coronavirus or are postponing against them or whatever. Like Brighton at the end of this season will probably have about 4 or 5 games in hand coming up to the last few weeks of the season with the way it's going.
And they'll all be wins then instead of draws.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's weird, man, because like they're barely playing any games, so because their game against Chelsea's been postponed, Spurs was postponed. Now, like, would it come up against United again the same one, or will it go ahead? You don't know what the United camp. Some of them are going to have to do, because if they're going to have to self-isolate, I think now the self-isolation happens for 5 days, isn't it? When it used to be 10 days before. So
is it okay? So no, I don't know what way it is in the UK, but is it not if you're double jabbed and you're not showing symptoms,
if it's,
you're free to move? Is it?
It's free to move, but there is a 5-day isolation period or something like that. That's taken into account from the first day that you did it or something. So. Okay. Yeah, and if it is that, then okay. I don't know. Some footballers are still not jabbed, obviously. So,
yes.
If they are, they're going to have to do the full 10 days, I think, to stay away from people or something. Because they could have a variant version of it. I don't know. So I don't know what way that works. But anyway, it's Manchester United be Brighton at 12:30 on the Saturday.
So, early kickoff for Old Trafford. Yeah. Again, look. At Old Trafford, you'd fancy United to get the 3 points in this one. I think they definitely would be favourites. In terms of shape and things like that, they're looking a bit better. My light's gone off again in the background for some reason. The laptop must be shutting down. So yeah, I'd fancy United to take the 3 points. I don't think there's going to be a lot in it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton got a draw or caused an upset then as well on the same day as well.
Yeah, I mean, they did it against us. They've done it against countless teams so far this season where they've taken points off and we wouldn't expect it. Your what you see on paper would say United, because they're at home at Old Trafford doing that. But that's not the same United that's been there. I don't care if Ranić is just in there and he might be putting a couple of results together, but You know, Potter's Brighton have just been flying recently, and well, since John they got a draw against us, um, against various, didn't get a draw against Spurs as well at Arsenal, if I remember
I
rightly.
think so, yeah. They seem
And
to be drawing against
yeah,
everybody
they're
anyway.
the
So
draw specialist this year by far, like, you know. So, but that's a good thing because I mean, you can draw your 38 games in a season to get your 38 points. You don't even have to win a
to
couple of
stay
them to
up.
get off the 40 points mark, like, you know. So,
True.
you know, that's just that for me is just I don't know, like it has United win on paper.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
say
mind seeing them
necessarily
draw,
written all over it,
not
but
all over it, but yeah,
they'd have to be favourites, obviously, in that game. But again, as we said, Brighton can cause anyone problems if they're up for it, you know.
yeah, I think so, yeah, yeah.
So
Look,
we
I'm
got
still.
after that then.
Straight after that, so who are you going for in that game, by the way? United and
Oh,
Brighton.
I'd go for a Man United win.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As much as it pains me to say it.
Ish.
And I
Early
think if
kick off.
Ronaldo plays, he scores in that game. It's a game for him to score, I think, against a
Yeah,
team
like
like that.
it should be kind of, yeah, because he saved them as well the other night with the penalty against
Mm.
Norwich, didn't he? But that was Norwich they were struggling against. I don't know. I still fancy Brighton to nick a draw on that, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go for a
Very
draw on
good.
that one just to see.
Well, I hope you're right, Kev.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, yeah. Not that it matters
100%.
to us up in the top of the league, but you know, it doesn't make a difference.
As Bill
But
Shankly once said, here we are with all our problems up on top of the league.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Even though we're second, no, technically
There's
we're
second,
ahead of
yeah.
that, you know.
There you go. But like Southampton and Brentford.
I think Southampton are home for this one, aren't they?
Mm,
But in saying all that, I'd fancy Brentford to
mm,
win. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw as well.
yeah.
I wonder, with the time of year, the festivities, a lot of football being played, could Southampton pull one out of the bag as well
Yeah.
at St Mary's? Now that could happen as well. But if I was to pull for one, I'd go for Brentford on this occasion.
Yeah, Southampton look like they're going to try and, like, at this kind of game. It could be the one that they get their one win every 5 games or something like that
Yeah,
kind of
there's
jobby.
always something to give them hope, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like an old
and
result along the
yeah,
way.
if Liverpool playing well, and you know, yeah, I don't know, Southampton, Brentford, like Brentford, with the form that they've been on up and down all season, they've been mostly up at the start of the season, but the good win against. Didn't they win the other night? They won, didn't they? They were, yeah, they beat Watford. That's a good win for them. And
It's saying here, though, in terms of win probability, Southampton 45%, Brentford 28%.
yeah,
Interesting.
it
Draw
is. Yeah,
27% then.
yeah, saying that in the middle. I'm going to say Southampton are home, and I don't care how
Yeah.
Brentford are good. Brentford tend to turn up for the occasion, and I don't know whether that's what I've seen this season. So whether that occasion is big enough for Southampton, I don't know. But I just think Southampton have that style of play that could catch Brentford. So, um,
Who are you going for,
so,
Kev?
so,
Come on.
um, so in that time, so I'm going to say draw.
Grand,
It
grand,
looks like a
grand.
draw all over it.
All,
Yeah.
all our Brentford viewers will be disappointed with
They
you
will,
sitting on the
yeah.
fence
Jesus,
there, Kev.
I know, yeah. But anyway, the
And
next
I
one's.
don't think they have Wi-Fi in Southampton, so we're all right with them.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
No,
Uh,
look.
so Watford and Crystal Palace.
Jesus Christ, we're not only talking about them
Yeah.
5 minutes ago. So again, London Derby repeated. So do you know what? I think this is going to be close. I'd fancy Watford, obviously, to be a lot more up for this,
Yeah.
considering the last result. I wonder, will they learn anything? Do you know what? In fact, I'm going to go for Watford in this. I think they'll just be that little bit more motivated, and they'd learn a few lessons from the last game. So Palace will probably win, but I'm going for Watford.
Yeah, I'm going to say Palace. I'd say. I like Ranieri. I like his style. I know Dennis. As I said, if your man Dennis is not up for the game, they don't seem to have. You know, he's kind of like Tridini to him back in the day, but I don't know, just Palace have been playing well last number of games, last result against Everton, you know, and the game previous. This is on Saturday, so the game previous to that is you know they won against Everton obviously on the Sunday, and they're playing Southampton, which is tomorrow night at 7:30. So you know these to get a win against Southampton and then to go on again against Watford away, they could be on a run there, you know. So but can they do it over the Christmas period? Can they be a team that wins all these games over the Christmas period? Like, to me, it says Crystal Palace, but because the way the games are coming thick and fast, Watford are away to Burnley, then at home to Palace a few days later. I have to say draw.
You're going to say a draw for that,
Yeah, I
is it?
think score draw, and it could be a 2-2, 3-3 kind of jobby.
The
You
amount
know,
of I was just looking
yeah,
on the screen there as you were kind of trying to come to the conclusion. You go through so many different
yeah,
variations. It's like, do you ever see the film A Beautiful Mind with Russell
yeah,
Crowe
yeah,
when he has to go through all the maths and the
yeah,
sums just start appearing?
yeah.
You're like right there, like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You go
Like,
through,
see,
your
you
brain
could
is like a
see
computer. It goes through
my thing is going
every
through
scenario.
every scenario of each game that's coming up. I'm just trying to think like, who's going to do the most damage to each other? Who's going to leave them wide open? So that's what I'm looking at it from that point of view. I mean, Chelsea had a tough game
Mm,
against Leeds at the weekend. They have another tough game against Everton. I don't care what they say. Everton will come at them for that game. I think Rafa won't.
yeah.
He'll want to play against an old club of his. So that's what I'm thinking. That some of the things Leicester and Spurs before Spurs players. We got Newcastle. So before they've got Leicester before they have to before we have to go and play them at theirs. So it's tough trips like. But anyway, we'll get those in a while. So I'm going to say
So
draw
you're
there with
saying
the
a
Watford.
draw.
You're saying Watford, and I'm saying a draw.
Yeah, I'm
Aye.
hopeful for Watford. That's about it, you know.
Yeah.
And then we've West Ham v Norwich after that,
I think West Ham, they've got to get back to
all
winning
day long.
wins. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I gotta see it. They have a tough one against Arsenal tomorrow night. But no matter what the result of that's kind of a must win for them to stay in that top
And
four
West
hunt.
Ham are at home as well.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think West Ham for that one. So that's easy. Just go on, move on from
Yeah.
that one. Aston Villa and Burnley.
Ooh. Villa are at home for that.
I can see Steven Gerrard and Sean Dyche kicking the fuck over each other on the sideline. Because Gerrard's trying to hold this persona at the moment where I'm a manager, I'm in the Premier League, I need to show it, whatever that.
Mm,
Sean Dyche is one of these fucking shithousery experts that can put. Look what he does to Klopp. When the two of them
yeah.
get on the sideline of the pitch, they're at each other. Like, the Klopp's like, I'll see you on fucking side, like, you know what I mean? Whatever. So,
No, why? You wouldn't be surprised if you've seen Sean Dyche fighting outside a chipper on a Saturday night
yeah,
for a fish
exactly, yeah.
supper. Do you know what I mean? He's one of
Yeah,
those heads in him, like, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with you in that one. In terms of the game, Villa are at home,
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for
so
Villa in that one.
I would too. Yeah, I think if Gerard doesn't fall for Dyche's, let's call him mind games for the moment,
Antics.
and he doesn't lower himself
Yeah.
to Dyche's level, I do think Villa have the better team. I think Burnley will cause them a lot of frustrations, but I think Villa might just have that extra bit of quality
Yeah.
and the atmosphere of Villa Park as well. They might just get it over the line, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's that one. So, Leeds United at home to Arsenal.
Now I'm hoping that this one is a beautiful game of football.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you just look at teams and you go, they're going to
Both of
go
them
for
have
it. Like,
shit
they might come right
defences.
away.
They
Yeah,
both attack.
could be loads of goals.
Yeah, so
This
this
could be
could
a
be.
4-3 or something like
Yeah.
that, you know? That would be
That's
lovely if it
that's
could
got
be.
one of those. Remember the Newcastle Arsenal game where Arsenal were up 4-0, Newcastle came back 4-all. That has that smell right all over it,
Written
doesn't it?
all over it. And this is an evening game as well. It's like a 5:30 kickoff
It is.
at
It's
Ellen
Saturday.
Road as well. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. I'm hopeful that it's a good one. Do you know what? For the crack, I'll go for Leeds.
Think
I'll
so?
go for Leeds. Yeah, well, I logically no, but I'm going to go for them on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's at Ellen Road, isn't it?
Yeah.
They should be up to nearly to almost full strength with the players that they have available now after a couple of games in.
Like if I was
Yeah, they're
putting
at
money on
Ellen
it,
Road.
I'd be picking Arsenal, but I'm going for Leeds. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say draw on this one. Another high scoring draw. It just reminds me of that fucking Watford and Crystal Palace game. What's the other one I picked? Yeah. Yeah, it
Cool.
just has that smell about it. Has the smell of, yeah, I think Leeds. Leeds could nick it. Arsenal could nick it. It could be a 1-0 jobby with lots of defensive, lots of effing and blind, and
Jeez,
then red
I hope
cards.
not. I hope
But
not.
I think that has goals written all over it. Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
going to say draw just because Arsenal are away, Leeds are home. They're going
But
to
you think a
have
high
Bamford
scoring draw?
back. I would say, I'd say like a 2-2 maybe,
Okay.
So that kind of
Okay.
it has that Arsenal can
Lots
lead
of
goals.
excitement.
Yeah, Arsenal can lead goals. Like, so anyway, yeah. So Everton and Leicester.
Woohoo! Two former Liverpool managers coming head to head on Merseyside.
Yeah, the week after they
Rafa
both play
Benitez.
Spurs and Chelsea.
Okay, so again, because we're looking kind of 2 games ahead, I think a lot depends what happens in both their
Yeah.
next games. We don't know the answer to that yet, but based on the evidence that we have thus far, could be a shot in the wind with this one. But you know what? I think it's going to be a draw.
It could be.
I
I'm
think
all
it's a
depending.
draw written all
I
over.
just if Everton pulls something out against Chelsea, I think they can
Mhm.
do Leicester.
Yeah,
Because I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
there'll be a
Confidence.
feeling of confidence coming back into the
Or
squad.
as Rafa would like to say, confidence,
Yeah, confidence, confidence.
confidence, confidence.
As he says it like a H, doesn't he? Confidence, confidence. But
Barcelona.
Barcelona, yeah. So I'm going with you on this one, though. I'm going to say draw for the meantime until I see the result tomorrow night.
Cool.
Or sorry, Thursday night
Now,
because they're playing Thursday.
this is at Molyneux. We have Wolves and Chelsea, right? And we've already spoken about the kind of the toughness of Wolves, particularly against City the other day, even though everything went against them.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have a game to play in between, but I can see an upset here in terms of Wolves. I think they can, at the very least, now I know the odds are going to be stacked against them, but I think they can get a draw out of this.
Yeah.
I think they can avoid defeat. Whatever the score is, I don't know.
At
But I think
Molyneux,
Wolves
yeah.
can't avoid. I think they can avoid a defeat there, you know?
Yeah, like Jimenez will be back for that one. That's the only reason why I was given a different thing against them and Brighton, because Jimenez is missing and they only have Traore to beat the ball up to.
Yeah.
Which on his day he can do damage, but against Chelsea he could really annoy Silva and Christensen and anybody who's in that back line. Alonso especially, he can burn Alonso and he can make him look, fairly foolish. So yeah,
I'm going draw.
I'm going to draw as well. I'm
All
joining
right,
in that
fair
one.
enough, fair enough.
The next one,
Oh,
Man City and
and the
Newcastle.
clash of two of the biggest, richest clubs in the world.
Yeah.
One at the top of the table, one pretty much at the bottom of the
I'm
table.
excusey, that was just me blowing out any thought I had for Newcastle getting anything out of this game. But although I'm saying that, like, the last couple of seasons they got like a 1-0 or 1-1, didn't they, or something like that, and I did something. But nah, look, I know they're at home. I know they can probably do something with that crowd because they've got fantastic fans, and it is a fantastically big club that's never really won anything. And they're always still regarded, even by all of us, that they're regarded as a big club and a historical club without winning fuck all, which is weird, like,
Yeah. I think the only thing that's going to work for
Yeah.
Newcastle in this one is that it's a busy time for football,
Yeah.
a lot of games being played.
Yeah.
They're at home. The atmosphere could be brilliant in St. James Park, and they'd be lucky to get a result. But other than that, obviously Manchester City all the way, without a doubt.
Yeah, and yeah, because I think even with coming into this period is when you're going to be worried about Man City a little bit, only for the fact that, all right, so in saying that, we got to play Leicester City straight after our next game, right? So
Second.
yeah, so for the League Cup, and they might be up for it, they mightn't be up for it, but if they go out, it depends on what they send out, really. To be honest with you, City are already out of the competition. So, but they then have to go City, then have to go, or Leicester then have to go and play City in the following game, which is on the St. Stephen's Day or the Boxing Day, whatever. 26th of December for me, and
the day after the baby Jesus was born.
and look, it's a tough week for them anyway. You're going to have to play game by game. Man City, for me, they should win that game against Newcastle. It's on paper.
Yeah.
I can't say anything else. I can't go against that. I hope I get absolutely shocked, and because I still think there's draws and losses in Chelsea throughout the season, but I don't want to see Man City going on any sort of run, because if they do, they get momentum. If they do, they get comfortable, and that's not where you want them. You want them having these.
Autopilot, don't they? When they get into that sort of a run, they're unstoppable almost.
Yeah.
And when the confidence grows in their minds, they play with so much freedom.
Yeah.
They never give away the ball. They're scoring all the time. And then against the weaker opposition, they just walk over.
Yeah.
Them. Anyone that doesn't give them a game, they just walk over them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd agree.
We need Newcastle to start making a show, and hopefully Sam Maximin start causing trouble. Man City have always kind of found it fairly tough against Newcastle. I don't know why they win them, but or they beat them, but they don't beat them by such. Like, you'd expect Burnley to give Man City more of a game, but in the last few seasons, Burnley have lost like 5-0 and 4-0 and that, like, So, but like, hopefully Newcastle give them a tough game this time. I'm still going to say City to win that one. So there we go. And then the big one for us on the weekend, the finale to it, the piece de résistance, is we're away at Spurs. Antonio Conte's Spurs.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as the boys like to call it.
That's it.
Look, this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
A real test of our credentials. Heading down to North London. Again, the time of year, there's going to be a fantastic atmosphere. In what did they call it, White Hart Lane, or it's just
it's still White Hart Lane? Yeah, no, it's White Hart Lane still. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's going to be fantastic atmosphere there. But look, all that being said and done, and I hate to repeat myself week after week after week, it's just a game that we have to win.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Those 3 points have to be ours. I think we're playing at such a level now. Even though I do think Conte is a great manager and he will make that team
Yeah.
better, I think we are at such a level now that we should just be going through teams like that and grabbing the 3 points by hook or by crook. We just have to get the
He,
3 points.
he'll either make two mistakes. He'll either go all defensive at the start and hopefully stop us from doing anything, and we'll just nick something early and it'll throw his game plan out the window. Or he'll try and take us on head on. If he does that, he's in trouble. If he does. And the only thing you can hope to do out of that is get defensive and counter attack maybe, and get something out of that for their side of thing. I can't see him dominating playing that with us on the ball, and not with Fabinho, Thiago, and Henderson sitting in there. They'll just dominate that midfield like they should do, and it'll feel like a home game at that stadium.
And it's a nice big pitch.
And Salah loves
you
scoring
know?
against Spurs. He loves a goal against Spurs, and yeah, I think that we can go there and really put one on against Spurs. Especially they've had to play Leicester midweek. We've had to play Newcastle. You know,
Newcastle.
in saying that we're saying this now. This is, we're talking about this. This is Tuesday at like 2:20 in the afternoon. So there's not much we can we don't know what way the Newcastle game would be going at this stage. So like we can only see, as we said earlier, that it should be a stronger showing for Liverpool against Newcastle. They should go and do it early, and then after that, I think I think Spurs is our hardest game of that whole period until we hit Chelsea again on the 2nd of January.
100%,
So so I mean, what do you think yourself?
I think, look, we have to be confident.
Yeah.
We have to go in there with the right belief.
Yeah.
And we kind of nearly have to know that we're going to take 3 points away from that match. That's the only mindset we should be in at the moment. And we've no excuses. The way we're playing, the team that we are, what we're hoping to achieve, and particularly against the opposition such as Man City and Chelsea, you just can't give them any ground either,
Yeah, that's it. So that's the weekends, or the midweek and the weekends preview. We've had a look at the Champions League Cup and the redo of the draw. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with whoever we get in the Champions League, because I want us to take on the best of the best. And coming up to that period of time when we're taking them on, I don't think there's too many big games on in that period. Maybe United, I think in March or something like that. But that's about it. Outside that, like, that's it. I mean, we're coming up to the point now where it's the Spurs is almost it's gone past the halfway point of December. We're coming up to games where we're looking at then, like, you got your Leeds, your Leicesters, your I think we got Spurs again in the period of a couple of weeks, and then we're hitting Chelsea before the lads head off to the Afghan.
And then there's a break,
the Afghan, and then there's always that 2-week gap for us anyway. I know that the FA Cup starts late in January, doesn't it? For some teams, or for most teams.
Who do we have again?
Oh, somebody.
Some small team, wasn't
it? Yeah. Wasn't it? It was Shrewsbury, was it, or something?
Well, Shrewsbury,
something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I haven't looked up. I just seen that it came out the other day, and I was like, oh, I missed that draw. How the fuck did I miss that draw? So anyway, but look, that's the weekend ahead. I can only another 6 points for us on the board by the end of the weekend. Hopefully after putting City and Chelsea under enough pressure, they've kind of got the tougher games in both. They've got Chelsea, so Chelsea have got our away to Wolves and a home to Everton, so they have a tough weekend themselves. Coming up, we know how much of a hassle Wolves caused us. Before and City. So hopefully they'll do the same to them. Everton can do it against a big side, so we'll see. But so will you join us for the? Are you here Thursday for the live watch along against Newcastle?
No.
They're not here for that one. So I'll be here myself. I'll be doing the live watch along for the Thursday one. Are you here for Sunday?
Nope.
Is that?
working.
He's working, yeah.
I'm working now like non-stop up till Christmas, pretty much. I think
Yeah.
that I'm the 22nd. I'm off, but that's my birthday, so I'm going to be out.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. But look,
I think
I'll be
this is
doing
the
the
next
watch
one. I'm
alongs
free
here
for
because
actually.
Kevin coming in for the watch alongs is mainly a bonus because we mostly do all these podcasts and things together like this. So, but I'll be doing the watch along anyway on Thursday. I'll be doing it again on Sunday. So you'll catch me over on Spider LFC. You're going to catch this on the Kitmen channel that you're watching it on right now. So, yeah, say good luck there because I think we're after
Yep,
finishing up on everything. And yeah, so we guys we'll see. I'll see you on Thursday. Anyway, Kev will be in the chat somewhere. Pop him in when he's at work, and
definitely.
saying hello.
Running into the bathroom just to comment.
So yeah, that's it. Like So lads, from myself, also Kevin, and
And me, Kevin, also.
we are the Kitman. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you guys on Thursday for the live watch along for Liverpool versus Newcastle, and I'll see you again on Sunday for the watch along for Spurs versus Liverpool. All right, so that's us, and we are out. Good luck. The Kit Man!